The whole thing started after I made the choice to get divorced. I had 2 kids. I have 2 kids. And I allowed my ex to have the children. We have joint custody, and he was the custodial. And I chose that. I left him. I left them. I thought I was going to be okay with that. And for a while I was. He and I had a good relationship. We still have a good relationship. And us living near each other was good. And I would be TDY a lot, which was the main reason why he had custodial. Then I would come home on the days that I didn't have the kids, and the house would be too quiet. And I wouldn't turn on the TV, I wouldn't eat, and I would sit in my room and cry, staring at pictures of my children, and cry and cry and cry and cry and cry. Cry myself to sleep, completely upset that I was crying, and I didn't know why, because I really didn't know why. Was in a relationship almost immediately after, but things started getting serious, and then we ended up getting engaged and married. He separated from the Air Force. When he left the Air Force, he decided he wanted to be a truck driver. At first it was okay because he was home nights. Even though I didn't have my kids, at least he was home nights. So that kind of helped. When he decided to go be a truck driver, I went back to crying and getting lost and the pain and the suffering that I endured myself and that I put on myself. And then the next summer after that is when things hit rock bottom. You get naive and comfortable in a place when you've been there for 5 years. And then you get orders. The hardest thing, I thought that the first time that I left them would be the hardest thing that I ever had to do. But allowing them to go to the Azores was worse than I ever felt, or the pain. But once again, I did this to myself. I chose this. And I prayed and I prayed and I said, you know what, God, if you don't want me to do this, you're going to put everything in my way to stop it. It's not going to happen. If this isn't going to happen, if this isn't in my path that you have for me. So of course, I blame God, the one person or thing in my life that's always been a constant. I blamed him because I'm suffering. He knew I was going to suffer, and he allowed it to happen. My mom tried to tell me that I needed to get help, that it wasn't healthy, that I was losing weight and I wasn't taking care of myself, which, looking back, I wasn't. So she bought us all tickets to this Women's of Faith conference. I have 3 younger sisters, and so we all go, and that conference opened my eyes to a lot of things. I didn't think that I was strong enough to be going through what I've been going through. So I was in a bad place with my faith. I was in a bad place emotionally. And I was too prideful to get help because you're a Christian. Christians don't. Your lives are supposed to be perfect. That's a common lie. He never told us that it was going to be easy. He did say it was going to be hard. And it was hard. So after that women's conference, I decided I was going to go get help. Made an appointment that week. Wasn't going back to God, but I was going to start somewhere because I knew I was not in a healthy spot. Started going and talking about my issues, and it was helping, kind of. They could tell that I was just going through the motions. So I got put on medication. That gave me the drive back. The days when my husband's home are better. I guess what really clicked was when I realized I didn't want to do it anymore. I was tired of, he was tired of me being like that. When I was getting back into my faith, or trying to go back to church and ask God for help, and that's when he was showing me that he was still there. And I think the best part is that I can be angry with him about my situation. I can yell at him about it. I can say it's not fair. But at the end of the day, he's still there. And still accepts me and loves me and wants me no matter what. No matter what I've done.